Welcome back to the APTA Grand Prix Tour, presented by our national sponsors, Viking and Uline, and our local sponsor, Roto-Rooter. We're live at the Hyde Park Golf and Country Club on the APTA Network, presented by eNet Live. I'm Mark Fischel, along with sure-to-be Hall of Famer Brad Easterbrook, here for this men's round of 16 match between Peter Berka and Brian Panek, Scott Kahler, and Brian Compton. Brad, tell us a little bit about the players.
Absolutely. So Brian Compton is on the bottom here from Chicago, Illinois, one of the up-and-coming players, great ground strokes. His partner, Scott Kahler, professional from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And on the far side, Brian Panek, member at the Sunset Ridge Club, and his partner, Peter Berka, who is the professional at the Sunset Ridge Country Club in Chicago.
So Todd, a lot of similarities between Kahler and Berka, both paddle professionals as well as professional players. Both very patient, very solid players, and I think a lot of the match is going to be determined by their partners.
I think so. You know, this will be actually my first time seeing Panek up and close. I've seen snippets here and there, Brian Panek, but yeah, as you mentioned before when we were talking off air here, Mark, he's a great athlete, and he's an up-and-coming player. I think that's kind of one of the, themes of the tournament. It's there's a bunch of players to watch here, and as well as Brian Compton, who's been up and coming for years. And let's take a look at the players just on the court really quickly here. So we're looking in the bottom right here with the light blue top and the black cap. That's Scott Kahler. His partner to the left of him in the gray top and the baseball cap is Brian Compton. And on the far side with the red paddle is Peter Berka. And on the other, and his partner Brian Panek next to him in the sort of, I guess, light blue hoodie there.
Yeah, Brian Compton was very impressive last year in Philadelphia. Played with Marek Chervinsky there, and he kind of backed off. He played a really good first set and then kind of backed off and disappeared. And I'll be interested to see how he responds playing with Scott Kahler, because Kahler is more of a support guy than an alpha on the court.
Yeah, I mean, Kahler's had some great results. As you said,
Cincinnati.
I find, though, that he is
2019 Midwesterns being played at Hyde Park Golf and Country Club
upping his offense a little.
in Hyde Park. Introductions for today's round of 16 match. On my left, on the east side, playing from Chicago, Illinois, Peter Berka and his partner, Brian Panek. And to my right, on the west side, closest to the hut, are the number 4 seeds. Brian Compton from Chicago, Illinois, and Scott Kahler from Pittsburgh. Best of 3 match today.
Brad, wanted to continue with that thought that you had?
No, absolutely. What I was talking about before is that Scott Kahler, I find this year, has been upping his offense. He's always been a great volleyer, a really consistent player, generally makes a lot of good choices, but it's almost as if you could sort of dump the ball to him and wait him out if you needed to at any time. There wasn't as much to fear. I find he's been playing more offensively this year. He still does have a continental grip, so he doesn't have that Western forehand where he hits a heavy topspin ball. He can hit it down flat, but his offense has improved. So it'll be interesting to see, like you said, how Compton and Panek do out here today with their seasoned partners.
Kahler's been top 10, top 15 in the country for the last probably 8-9 years with a variety of partners.
Yep, no, absolutely. He won a tournament earlier this year, the Patterson Open with Graham McNerney. He's very capable. He's right up there with the top players. It's almost as he's missing that X factor, that some of the top players have.
That big weapon.
Yeah, the big weapon, exactly.
Let's take a quick look at the draw and see how the teams got here. So you see the winner of this match scheduled to play the winner of Hintz and Schwab against Estes and Stulak, Hall of Famer Mike Stulak, which could probably be called a toss-up match.
Yeah, that's an interesting match. Hintz and Schwab, it's nice to see them seated here. They've been working hard in the past couple of years. And that's a team out of Denver, so they get most of their big play coming out to these tournaments, Mark.
And Berka and Panek put a beating on Tommy Croker and Alex Hume. That's a pretty good team from the DC area.
That's a pretty impressive win right there. So we'll see how they fare here against Compton and Kahler. Now, Compton is definitely one of these guys who can hit the ball off both wings. We're seeing that more and more. He's got a good backhand, good forehand, and he can hit it from all parts of the court. Panek, I'm looking forward to seeing more of.
And Peter Berka's got one of the best servers in the country, volleys exceptionally well. He's an interesting volleyer, Brad, in that he's such a handsy volleyer.
Yep.
Love 15.
We got an early loose error there.
I'm always amazed at how well Peter Berka volleys.
It's a very loose volley. He just sort of absorbs the pace and uses his hands, like you said. It's not a form or a technical volley at all. He just sort of puts his paddle out left, right, and he just doinks it over. He doesn't volley offensively, but he gets them all back.
It's not something you teach anybody. When I think of classic volleyers, honestly, Brad, I think of you. Your hands are so quiet and still. We'll get a chance to look at that a little more as the match progresses.
I think these players know each other pretty well. 3 of them from Chicago. And Kahler's he's been around with lots of different partners, like you said.
Just a perfect afternoon for paddle. Guest appearance by Panek there. Probably a ball best less suited to his partner. He got away with it.
That was a good look there for Kahler. He should hit it. He just missed it.
Game.
Good leave there from Berka. You know, a couple of good looks there from Kahler and Compton. They just didn't execute.
Yeah, that's a game you'd expect them to win if they played it 4 or 5 times. You expect them to win it 3 or 4.
Yeah, they're going to definitely have to improve with their overheads, Berka and Panek there. A few down to up, very short, bouncing high, or a little too hard off the screen. Like every match, it takes a little shape. It's only the first game.
Love.
Interesting return position from Panek. Looking for the backhand, which I didn't see too much out of in the warm-up.
Great dig there.
Nope.
Compton just couldn't quite take the pace off it enough. Nice blitz there. It's almost a chip and charge there from Berka. A little surprising. That's what you'll see out of Kahler. Kahler not only makes volleys, but he volleys offensively. Like, he'll get up to the net. He'll actually stick a volley once in a while. Great move. Compton on top of the net. He had Panek there looking like he was going to blitz, but really he was just inside the baseline.
Put himself in a dangerous position.
Yep.
Deuce.
Little sloppy play early. Both teams looking to get settled in. That was a thumper of a backhand.
Yeah, he ripped it.
Compton was doing
Yeah,
there.
he's going to have to stay a little quieter there. It definitely was not his ball. He was trying to anticipate it.
That's a great way to break your wrist.
Oh, goes for the hard overhead. Called out there by Panek.
Go through the...
I think it went through the snowboard, the gap between the snowboard and the fencing there.
I haven't seen Kahler hit that hard overhead too often.
I think it's the first time I've ever actually seen it, Mark.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think it was a bad time for it.
No,
it was a
great
surprise
shot.
move. It's a good shot if you make it. And, you know, the point was getting a little slow for his liking, so he went for the shot there.
A little slow for Scott Kahler's liking. Is really slow, Brad.
And that's what I find that's happening actually a little bit more with Kahler. He's definitely trying to expand what he's doing out there offensively. And you would have to say that's a net offensive play there. He's trying to play an offensive shot from the net rather than just push it low. Overhits that one to the screen and stays back.
So one of the early questions I always ask in a match, Brad, is where's the offense going to come from when you're stuck in the backcourt?
A loose overhead there from Berka. I think it's a great thing to, you know, to find out from these teams. And as the opposing team, that's always what you're looking for. Where is it safe to hit the ball? Where are opponents going to crush it from? Oh, a big serve there.
Deuce.
Really interesting to see Berka returning serve that way. Standing
chip.
way over there and chipping the forehand.
Yeah, chipping the forehand, looking to get it low, and if he gets it low, he'll dart in, but it's not particularly offensive, you know, in any other way. If he gets it low, he'll make a quick move. I actually do find that's one of Berka's moves. He actually doesn't often hit it hard from the backcourt. He's really looking to soften you up with lobs, then he'll dink it low and blitz in. It's one of his signature moves. But he really is missing the thumping backcourt offense, you know, that you see from some of the other players as well.
I usually think his backhand is his better shot as he misses that one.
Yeah, but he did hit that one.
Compton, Kahler, first set, tied, one apiece.
Kahler bouncing up there.
Obviously really early, Brad, but I don't like what I'm seeing from Panek and Berka.
16 love.
Why don't you expand on that a little bit, Mark?
I didn't think they played a good first game, which they won. Hit a couple of shoddy volleys and then made a couple of bad errors, I thought, in a game that Kahler and Compton were trying to gift them in the second game.
A little bit, yeah. Oh, good hands there from Compton. Loads up on that one.
30-15.
Likes it. First rule though, got to get it over that net.
All.
It's really pretty out there, Mark. See the, you know, the snow-covered trees back there in the background. It's a gray day. It's, like you said before, perfect. Ah.
There's
40,
Berka coming up
30.
with a couple of great volleys.
Yeah, soft hands. It was a decent move from Compton, but Berka's able to keep it low. Compton went for a tough volley there from under the net. He could have lob volleyed and retreated, but he went for the offensive shot, which was very difficult.
There's a really controlled backhand there from Compton.
Smooth off the screen. A couple of faults in this game.
A little tight early in the match. Not to play paddle at this level too much. That is not the place you want to hit those overheads.
Very dangerous. He got that one over him, but it's very dangerous.
Kahler loves that shot. Probably hits it as well as anybody in the country. That spike overhead.
Oh.
Big wind up from Compton.
Huge wind up. He went for more spin there. I'd like to see him take it earlier, actually, and shorten up the backswing a little, instead of giving the other team so much time to get set up at the net.
Yeah, again, that's a spot you have to avoid.
He also has kind of an Eastern forehand almost on his overhead.
Yeah, it doesn't look quite continental.
Yeah. Great blitz.
Oh,
what a catch.
And he
ran into the net, though. That's it. Great play there. Nice offensive drop volley there from Kahler.
2-1 Compton and Kahler.
The first set.
Brad, I want to have a quick shout out to a guy at Crest Hollow by the name of Chris Pace, who's, every club's got one guy who's always showing up with a big smile on his face and just kind of lightens up the area, play with anybody, just salt of the earth. And Chris passed away at Crest Hollow last year, end of the year in November, and he added so much to our club, and it's just a huge loss for everybody.
Yeah, it's good for the shout out, Mark. I mean, everywhere you go, you run into people who really do things for others and sort of make the wheels turn, even if it's just making somebody feel better on the day. So it's good to have in remembrance. Thanks.
Okay, so Brian Compton to serve, 2-1 first set.
That chip and charge again from Berka.
Love.
So hard to chip and charge with Kahler at the net.
I agree. It's easier ball to cut off.
Kahler is so aggressive up there. See him always moving to the middle, always looking to help his partner.
I like the backhand a little better than the forehand, what I've seen so far.
There's a forehand from Berka.
They don't have any rhythm to the play right now. They're hitting hard. They're not playing long setup points. It's almost like maybe they're just still figuring out what their plan is. But right now it doesn't look like they have one.
I agree with that. Again, such a tough
great volley there from Kahler.
But you're moving forward, and the guy at the net is already set, and you're in motion, and that's a really tough battle to win.
3-1.
Kahler's very good at that. He's a very good,
one of the best
up at the net player. We know that the hand-to-hand exchange is something that some teams love to do, and the better you are at it, the more you want to do it. In this case, I'm not sure it's the best plan for Panek and Berka to do. He's gonna have to stop hitting that ball down. And that's just 4 opportunities in a row, though.
Yeah.
Gonna come back.
Same thing as the first game. It's a point that Compton and Kahler are gonna win more than they're gonna lose it.
15-all.
Now, Peter Berka this year has played with quite a few partners as well.
Look at Kahler jumping the net.
Oh, Compton tries to overplay the volley there.
Good playing from
Berka with
Berka.
a little quick move.
But that's a volley you got to
30,
force him to
15,
make
yeah,
coming
sure.
forward like that.
You know, Compton definitely had the advantage. Closer to the net, can hit the ball down a little bit.
That's a great return from Compton. That's that ball
30
early.
all.
I think that's the key. You know, it's definitely one of the things you notice from top teams. They take the ball early, move that ball downward. A lot of them have quick releases. You know, Powers and Durant. Not big swings, but quick and fast on top of the ball early. Rare lob error there from Kahler. Berka going there for the nick, for the crease.
Great play by Kahler. Pushed him off the net and hit the ball at his feet.
That's a deuce.
They're going to have to find the right pace to hit these overheads at.
They are struggling with their overheads. I was just going to say that I like Panek's volleying,
And
but his
Kahler.
overheads have left a lot to be desired.
And we haven't seen yet, you know, some matches you see a lot of offensive overheads or players who dictate at the net a little with their overhead. Right now, the overheads have not been anything that's helping out the team or setting up the points.
Panek and Berka have to come up with some sort of game plan. Because right now I don't see anything they're doing, and Kahler and Compton look very comfortable to me.
That's
Great
so
cutoff.
dangerous, taking a drive while he's on the net like that.
Game.
Kahler stands
Compton.
almost closer to net
They
than
lead the
most
first
players.
set,
He's right
4
on top.
games to
He's
1.
waiting for that ball.
And he's got one of the best drop shots in the country. The official paddle of the APTA, engineered to provide superior feel and perfect balance of power, control, spin, and durability. The Viking paddle is the official paddle of the APTA, Nationals and President's Cup, and of course, of the APTA Grand Prix Tour. Yeah, right now Compton and Kahler just look real comfortable out there, Brad. I don't see Panek and Berka doing anything to bother them.
I mean, at this point, no, not at all. It's almost like they're hoping that Kahler and Compton just go off the rails a little bit. For sure, there have been a lot more looks for Kahler and Compton, and I can't say that Kahler and Compton have a specific plan either, but the other guys aren't forcing them into anything. They're giving them looks, and they're letting them play the shots they want. They're hitting drives right into Kahler when he's at the net, or taking an offensive blitz when they're really not in the offensive position.
And that was exactly what happened on that point, Brad.
Yeah, it's the same thing. This is the same closeout point from the last one. Kahler's on the net. He's volleying more offensively than the shot you're hitting at him is. Doesn't make sense. It's not a winning formula. But we all know, Mark, that paddle takes 1 or 2 changes to flip the script.
Boy, did we see that yesterday, Brad. Again,
Was on that net, seeing that drive.
that Compton forehand has got a long setup.
It's big in all ways. He hit that hard too, but it's a lot longer release than some of the other top players.
See Kahler letting that ball drop, just bunting it deep into court. He gets Panek to drive one on his terms.
I don't know why you would drive that ball. That's
40 love.
the purpose on that shot.
40 love.
You're not going to gain that much, even if you make it.
Yeah, this is going real
See if we
fast.
can get you some scores. from our other round of 16 matches as we go through, Mark? Did you just get a score
Yeah,
out there?
I think Baxter and Helder up ahead of Lofgren and Crick 2-1 in the first set. We may try to give you some bonus coverage of that. And the way things are going here, we may get more of that than we had envisioned.
Yeah, 5-1. They're definitely going to have to, you know, dial this back a little. Now, as you mentioned before, we mentioned earlier, you know, Peter Berka is actually the pro at the Sunset Ridge Country Club, and Brian Panek's actually a member there. Do you think this would be a situation where Berka's, you know, but Berka's far superior, you know, far more experienced player, you know, so do you think he's going to coach Panek and work with him, or is he going to basically
That's a great shot.
You know, based on the dynamic?
I think he's got to be the captain of the team.
I think so.
As to how much that entails coaching and how much that entails advising, that's a fine line.
Now here, I always find is the danger zone for the other team. You're up 5-1, you're winning. The other team hasn't put a lot of pressure on you, so you hit a couple of looser balls, you kind of lose track of it, you give a few points away, you let the other team sort of breathe, basically, and get back in there. So even though it's 5-1, and right now Compton and Kahler, you'd have to say, are beating them badly, if you let the other team back in, it can switch quickly. We see it all the time. Got high lob there.
What you like better, Brad? Compton's backhand or forehand?
You know, I actually think I like his backhand better. I think his forehand's a little long.
Me too. Backhand's nice and tight.
Here comes Berka, smooth move. Read well there by Compton.
After failing to alert his partner that Berka was coming up.
Oh, great dunk there from Compton. I think Panek had a moment. That's what a good overhead does. It makes you make a decision. And Panek needed to go up and get that one because it did not come off at all. But he hesitated and then it just dropped in.
Yeah, I really do like Compton's backhand. Just short, tight. I was very impressed when I saw him play in Philadelphia last year.
Compton or Panek?
Compton.
Compton.
That was a bad move and he got away with it. He's got a lot of game, a lot of shots, which of course is halfway to being a good player.
Oh, good shot behind him there.
Good volley from Panek. Volley as well.
40-15.
Overhead's a little bit flat, coming out too hot.
Oh, just long.
40-30.
It's funny, Panek's got a little bit of that handy volley that Berka's got too. Do you think that's the case of everybody at Sunset Ridge, Brad?
Could be. Have to start polling the whole membership.
Because I know everybody at the Huntington Country Club will volleys beautifully with soft, still hands. At your club, Brad?
Oh, wow, he's just looking for that down, up, overhead.
That's what you were talking about with that Eastern grip.
Oh, dangerous. He's right in there. Now, there's a lot of plays that I'd love to see teamwork work in there. When that lob goes up and over, I'd like to see Berka back up, but also keep his eyes forward and tell his partner to lob the ball or drive it. You know, because that time, you got Panek driving it off the screen. But again, Kahler's right there to put the volley away. So would have been much better off to lob that ball up. Again, too hard into the screen.
Brad, why don't you talk a little bit about the Eastern grip on the overhead? You talked earlier about the Eastern grip on the overhead that Panek is using and why that's not the correct grip.
You know, the problem with it is you could possibly hit a little bit of a roller or topspin overhead with it, but you can only hit a flat overhead with it. It doesn't allow you the versatility of being able to spin the ball. It's also harder when you're letting the ball drop to be able to come underneath it and push it long and deep. So he's hitting flat down overheads consistently here. That was a little better there. He's going to have to learn. There you go. Drop it longer and get it lower into the court so the ball's not popping up. He's trying at it now, but they're still landing at the service line. That's a little bit better. See, there's the service line again. You want to be able to get that ball a good 3 feet. There's another service line ball. So there we got 4 out of 5. See, if you're watching where it lands, 4 out of 5 right on the service line. Nothing back.
First set, Houston Powers, 3-2 over Smigdal Barnes.
And Kahler.
All right, so our first set point here. Compton returning. Ryan Panek serving. Oh, there's a good blitz, and there it is.
That was a pretty routine set, Brad.
Yep, it's going to have to be, I'd like to see them take some time to get this out.
Okay, we'll be back in a moment after these messages right here on the APTA Network, presented by eNet Live.
Hey, mister, are you a roto-rooter plumber?
Guilty.
Did you fix what flooded my house?
Sure did.
Toilet overflow?
Nope.
Pipe break?
Getting warmer.
Busted water heater?
Nailed it.
How long can you hold your breath? Is that your real hair? What's the birds and the bees? Do you know where my grandma is?
You know, I don't know.
What's next?
Wrapping up the water cleanup.
You do that too?
We do both.
Fair enough.
Call Roto-Rooter for plumbing and water cleanup. Yeah, we do both.
Give a little bit.
At Amazon, we've got millions of toys and games to choose from this holiday for kids of all ages, with free shipping on over 100 million items. So visit Amazon and give a little love this holiday.
Okay, welcome back to the APTA Grand Prix Series. We just finished the first set of this round of 16 match between Brian Compton and Scott Kahler, Peter Berka, and Brian Panek. Brad, what do you think they have to do to change things up, because they got run out of the building in that first set?
Yeah, they really did. You know, they're at the net, their overheads were basically not effective at all. They were giving them opportunities. They're going to have to spot their overheads better and at the right pace. They're also going to have to, so you saw Kahler and Compton get offense from the backcourt and offense at the net too. The second thing that they were doing too much of was hitting drives where Kahler was right on top of the net and basically offensive, you know, stuffing the volleys behind them. They're going to have to be much more judicious with the shots they're playing. They're trying to blitz and attack, but they're hitting too hard into the screens and they're just getting attacked, or too short in the court. They're going to have to really change the tempo of this match too now. Slow it down, put the right spot on the ball each time, and see if they can just get their teeth in it. We have another score here. We were talking before, Hinson Schwab, a team from Denver, the 7th seed. They're down 4-1 to Stulak and Estes, you know, the veterans.
Great pickup from Compton there. Not so much on that one.
He's moving forward. They got hit.
30 all.
30 all.
Good scramble there from Compton.
Isn't that what the best teams do? Nobody better than Hughes and Powers. Just put one more ball in play. I think you've got them beat in transition, and all of a sudden you're just starting over.
No, absolutely. I mean, Hughes and Powers are so quick. You know, they make a lot of great digs too. You know, balls that are just 2 or 3 inches off the court. Oh,
that was a surprising miss from Kahler.
Yeah.
Okay, 30-40.
30-40.
Must be great just to get a break.
Yeah, they really need this. They won the first game and then lost 6 consecutive after that.
Ooh.
That's surprising from Berka. Just buried that backhand in the middle of the net.
Yes.
Patty Hogan's trying hard to help me lose some weight.
Patty Hogan just dropping off some cookies here. Some snacks. Thank you, Patty. Oh, for sure. Blitz.
Good
Look
blitz
that
in front
time.
there, yep.
Now, when that high lob goes up, it's so important for the player not hitting the overhead to keep their eyes forward, call out whether the other team's looking to blitz or not.
I got to say that Myrta Molenveld and Jessica Guillot did the worst job I've ever seen of that last night.
Really? Yeah.
I think Floor Hannish
huge-
blitzed on
and that's-
lobs 20 times without a warning.
Yeah, such a big deal, especially for a top team. You know, I'm sure they'll take that away and take it to heart for their next match.
Great get. Panek's obviously a very good athlete. Just pounding the ball into a side wire. Only so many of these digs he's going to be able to make.
Oh, but
Kahler
again,
misses it.
He's right there, though. He's got to be careful. I like how he played that point, though. Much more patient.
Okay, another break opportunity. It's so interesting to me that Scott Kahler, who from the backcourt just eats up, down, up overheads, loves to hit him from the net.
There it is again. That shot is, dang, he's got to stop hitting that. He'll win a point here and there. He won the last point with it, but
Yeah, you're not going to beat Scott Kahler when he's standing on the net too often.
exactly. He's got to be off the net.
Okay, they get paid for their own down, up overhead.
Well, that was a mistake for them. Yeah, he tried to bounce it over him, and it's the thing in paddle. Sometimes you just try the wrong shot just to make something different happen. You get ahead of yourself.
First game.
Mental discipline is so tough.
Yeah, I love the story, Brad. I sent my buddy Joe Palestino down to take a lesson with you. And you told him that sometimes you got to make 30, 40 good decisions to win 1 point. And to me, that was so emblematic of what makes a good paddle player. And of course, that's one of the reasons Joe Palestino gave up
No longer
paddle.
playing.
Okay, Peter Berka to serve. New balls. We're changing on 7s.
All right, that's a great start there for Berka and Panek. They needed to get going a little bit.
Just constantly amazed at how well Berka volleys with those hands just moving all over the place.
Again, he's down at the service line, and you got Kahler hitting it down at him, missing the volley. I did see actually Panek and Berka switch at the net last point. I wonder if that's going to be something they're going to continue more and keep Berka to the left, so he's hitting more of the overheads at this point.
Another point they won, but didn't really play well. Looks like SD Stulak won the first set out there.
I'm guessing that is, you see Stulak coming off the court, and I think the only reason they'd be taking a break like that is if it's in between the sets.
Coming in to check out his Hall of Fame jacket, what it's going to look like.
Possible.
Well, we've had a lot of really deserving candidates in the Hall of Fame, Brad.
Absolutely.
I don't know that we've ever had any as deserving as Mike Stulak. Just so many contributions to the game in so many fronts, and such a classy athlete.
True sportsman.
My favorite Mike Stulak story is the year he won Best Sportsman and Best Competitor in the poll of the top players.
Yep.
And those two things don't go together normally.
You're
But they do
absolutely
with
right.
Mike Stulak. No, I think I've played Mike 24 times, and every match was a pleasure.
Few errors creeping into the Compton Kahler game here. And that last point, Compton had a real easy backhand which he missed wide.
Oh, it almost came over.
Hit it, I think he's saying it hit his wrist.
30 all.
Yep. I haven't seen anything change, just a few mistakes now. Maybe a loose play there from Compton in the last game on a screen drive. Oof.
40-30.
Nice lob volley there.
Boy, great volleys for Panek.
Rollers there, making a move, but well done by Panek.
Big point early in the match. They can hold here and kind of get out to a 2-love lead, rejuvenate them a little bit. And these are the points you have to play really intelligently. Can't afford to give these away. No silly drives with Scott Kahler standing on the net. Just be patient, wait for the right ball.
Well, I see Panek being much more patient now. He's looking to not make the wrong shot. It's great. They're working Panek over there.
And so far he's had all the answers.
That's the right ball, a guy off the net. That is a great drive.
Yep, pulled Compton way
It's
over.
the right shot, Mark. See, there you go. That's a
Patience is
perfect
rewarded.
point there from Panek. Totally different player in that point, which is still going on. Now let's see if he gets the overheads deep in the right spots, though. This is the first like battle point here where it seems like everybody's waiting for the right ball. And they're also just giving them less balls. That's the ball, right? That's it. Oh, wow. Right on the line.
Looked like Berka thought it was out. He kind of stopped.
And it's hard to see from our vantage point, but if I had to choose one, I would have thought it was out too, Mark. So, nice call there from Panek. Great to see the sportsmanship.
Interesting, they're not trying to switch back, Brad.
Yeah,
Panek.
Panek's got that backhand in the middle. I don't find any reason to switch back. I think I almost like this look better for them.
I agree. And there's the missed overhead.
And that's a great point from Berka and Panek. Now they're playing the match. No bad choice in that match. Only the right drives out of Panek. Stayed consistent on anything. He didn't have a great drive unless he knew his opponent was off the net.
Taylor's got to set his paddle down a little and open that face. He tried to flick it over, but couldn't control the pace. Nice roller.
That's a ball you don't expect Berka to miss.
He laid it up there for him.
He did lay it up there for him. That's the one when I usually get behind my partner when he hits that shot. I'm thinking, you hit it, you deal with it.
Now these points have turned into a battle.
A couple of sloppy overheads.
Well, now you see Compton and Kahler starting to overhit.
Yeah.
Getting their overheads in the wrong spots, giving them more looks. You see the flip of the script. So many times.
And there's the return to serve you can't afford to make. Chip return that goes in the net. I mean, Kahler would have eaten that ball up if it went over the net.
It's actually funny to see. It's very, Berka-like. He does so many different little things out there. Great drive there that time from Panek.
Not exactly sure what happened in that ball. Looked like a relatively routine shot. Compton missed it.
Right.
Brad, do you think Peter Berka's put on a couple pounds? He looks like he might weigh 130 now.
He's looking heavy. No,
for Peter
always
Berka.
For Peter Berka, he's always been very thin.
Gosh, he turned sideways. I can't see him. And this is one of Peter's MOs. Teams he's played on through the years have always played very patiently, very slowly.
Absolutely, Mark. People, a lot of times people don't want to play Peter Berka because he would do this to you. He'd play long points. He'd get you into a rhythm of endless points, and they dip it at your feet quickly and maybe do a sudden blitz, but it would be a long time before. And see, that's the wrong drive there. Yeah,
right. They played such a good point, and then a bad decision at the end.
Yeah, he's on the move. Kahler's on the net. The secret to the game is going to be to play long points like that and only drive it at Compton when Compton's off the net. Don't take it to him at all. We'll see where it continues, but that was much better from Berka and Panek. Much better. Here come the snows again. See a couple of flakes now starting to come down. A couple of big ones. I did hear we're going to get some more snow. That's going to change.
It's 2-1.
Things. That's going to change things out there. We have to get some steam going on.
2-1, Berka. Okay.
Okay, so Panek to serve, 2-1, second set. Yeah, that's too hard to serve.
Great rip. Yeah, that is. He's very good at that shot. That high to low forehand.
He loves it.
Ball off the deck. He doesn't have a ton of topspin. Although he's developed more. He has a great leave there.
Your favorite shot, almost, Brad.
Yeah. No, he left the first volley because it went past him. He didn't reach for it, and then he actually subtly stuck in there. And again, no call out from the party. He didn't know it was there. Great move. Oh, he misses the lob volley.
15-30.
That was a little aggressive.
You try to make a perfect shot. got to start getting a little deep. Ooh. There they go. There's the switch at the net.
I think that's a really smart move.
It is. Go. Compton hitting a bunch of probing drives there, lobbing down the line and looking to the middle.
Panek has really volleyed well, Brad.
Yeah, he's hit some good shots. You know, at the net, he's got soft hands. You know, oh, Kahler up there again. So tough at the net.
Yeah, the problem has been less as volleys and more as overheads.
Talking about Panek.
Yep.
Absolutely. These are definitely the kind of points, though, that Berka and Panek want. See Kahler, if you watch him and you watch one player, you watch Kahler, he'll drift right on top of the net, anticipating a possible drive from you. He's sometimes setting you up so he gets the offensive volley.
Why don't you elaborate on that a little bit more, Brad, in terms of what he's trying to do?
Yeah, there. You know, whenever you get a ball into the screen, there's a percentage of your opponents that are driving. Sometimes Kahler will overhit it into the screen, pull higher, and then draw you into thinking you're going to drive it, and then he closes in on the net as you're doing it. It's hard for somebody to see your opponent at the net when they're closing it if you're hitting a ball off the screen. And then he's right on top of the net and he's stuffing the volley back on you. And you saw Compton do it a little bit there too, but that time Berka was hitting it off the deck. So he's overhitting that overhead, and see where he is right on top of the net there, and he's going for a drop angle volley. It's a perfect example right there. So he's baiting him in. There's another one. Baiting him into a drive, and he's going to get ready to close quickly so he can use an offensive volley. You have to have real confidence in your volley, and you have to work well with your partner too, because when you do that, it's possible they could lob it over your head as you're closing in. Your partner has to cover for you some of the time. That's well done there, but that's where Kahler's moving around too much. Good job there by Panek and Berka.
Waited for the right ball.
Snows are coming down. We'll see if this is going to start accumulating a little. We had a real missed match in the first set of the women's final this morning, right? Heavy fogs with the heaters on, Mark?
Yep.
I think there is snow coming again, round 2 of snow.
I had to teach Patty Hogan the difference between steam and fog.
There you go. So how'd you do that, Mark? Did you say, I've never ordered any fog dumplings? Or, you know?
I said steam comes from below, fog comes from up top.
Oh, look at you. If I could find a way to, you know, rhyme official with science, I would, but nothing coming to me yet.
This is just vintage Peter Berka.
It is.
Just ground this match to a halt.
But there's only way they're going to compete in this. They can't speed this thing up. They can't drive well Kahler's on the net.
Well, they tried that in the first set and it had to work out for them.
Oh, it's rough. Nice soft hands again from Panek.
That down up overhead is getting him in trouble.
Drop. Ah, can't get there.
Kahler tries
Could
to
have waited a
round
half
the net.
second, let it come off the side screen, but that's a wrong. Berka right on the net.
Point for 3-1.
40-30.
There's the switch at the net you talked about, Brad.
Yeah, it's smart. They're recognizing, you know, something that wasn't working out. So they're going to have Berka play most of the overheads now and let Panek do some volleying up at the net. There you go. Cut it off. Now, that being said, Kahler and Compton should still try to find Panek at the net. Lob him repeatedly.
But even that miss, Kahler was very deep in the court. Didn't mind that overhead. Kind of lured him into swinging on their terms. So all of a sudden, Kahler and Compton aren't generating much offense from the backcourt.
No, it's changed completely. Snow really coming down now. Big flakes, heavy. We're going to see those heaters on soon, and that ball's going to start picking up moisture. It's going to be a little different feel out there.
Wasn't sliding too much at all in the women's final.
Court looks like it's in great shape. A lot of the grid on the top. Relatively newly resurfaced, I think. The lights are on. It's so gray out there. It's one of the great things to see. A guy in short sleeves and a wristband out here in 30-degree weather
15 love.
playing sports. It's great.
It is part of the beauty of the game, isn't it? Conference on either end. Great point, great exchange.
That's great volleying. Oh, he missed that one.
I don't know
He was
how
on
he missed
it.
that one. He looked in
Totally
perfect
went
position.
right by him.
See him look at his paddle afterwards, like there was something wrong with the paddle.
Well, there are holes in the paddle, lots of them, but oh, that's a good look for the blitz there. Berka.
So Brad, I know you love playing long, grinding matches like Peter Berka plays. What would you be doing to increase the tempo of play right now?
Well, you saw a roller there, actually. It was a good roller from Compton on that last point. You know, it's really at this point, you know, to increase the tempo, you have to be wary of overhitting the overheads, but you want to be able to make sure you're making these guys move and choose each time. A good overhead makes a guy choose, you know, so you're going to want to hit it that.
40-30.
I actually, believe it or not, wouldn't mind Berka and Panek hitting at me more, as long as you're not hitting hard from high to low. I did a medium pace over that comes off the screen a little bit, keeps him back and tries to force him in there. The problem is, I think now they really have hit a good stride where they're going to make the right choices every time. You can see this thing is, you know, basically fall into a grind. And I think at some point you have to grind. And unless you have those type of Juan Araya finishing overheads and the cuts, you're just going to have to work with this and play as many good points. I think overall, you would think Compton and Kahler probably have a little more offense. I don't know how you look at it, Mark.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so in any balance of point, they should have more opportunities or more ability to finish it. They're just going to have to not give them too many chances. So in balance, if they play the same, you would think Compton and Kahler are going to come out on top. Going to have to grind out these points. It's just going to be slightly torturous for a while. Good move there from Panek.
Interesting how aggressive Berka's court position is. He's standing on the center hash mark. The ball's going into
Now,
his partner's
that's
corner.
his number one offensive move is absolutely the blitz from Berka. I haven't seen Panek make a bad error in ages. That's the key. That's good overhead for the crease. They could also start hitting firm and at the crease.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Brad.
And
I'd like to
if
see
they
Kahler.
start doing that, let Kahler close, only take the right volley that's at his paddle. If not, they're going to have to play some transition paddle too, which isn't bad for them. You know, to play a little transition, meaning when the other team gets a drive and they drive it well, if you're not in position to volley, just let it go through, move it from the backcourt. Otherwise, every point, literally every point we're going to see from this point forward, Mark,
Compton,
will
Kahler.
be exactly like that. It's really back and forth. I wouldn't say anything
Berka,
happened there
Panek,
that allowed
Panek
Compton
lead.
and Kahler to win.
3
It wasn't
games
a
to
great
2
shot,
in the
just an
second
error.
set.
It's a strange miss. Uline is the leading distributor of shipping, industrial, and packaging materials to business throughout North America. They ship over 2.5 million boxes every day, but they are so much more than a box company. More than 32,000 quality products are always in stock and ready to ship. Outstanding customer service means they're here when you need them, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Uline, the best selection, products, and people for an unforgettable customer experience. Okay, Brad, I think this is a big game right here. Berka and Panek to kind of keep up the mo.
What I'm curious about to see here is if they start going for a little more aggressive shots into the crease or anything like that, Compton and Kahler, or literally we're going to be in here for an hour matchup here for this rest of the set.
Brad, I see some guys walking by with golf clubs. It's really a nice day
oh
to be
my
out on the
goodness.
course, isn't it?
You're absolutely right, Mark, there. To the
I think
left
they're using an
behind it.
orange ball.
I know. That's pretty impressive right there. Well, they're packing it in, so whatever they were doing, they're done now. Such a great facility here at the Hyde Park Golf and Country Club. Maybe they actually have an indoor hitting range, or
They do, right behind us,
that,
actually.
So that's what they're doing. Oh,
Kahler catches
That's a
Berka
little
off the
dipper.
net.
15.
great pace there from Kahler. Tough little shot. Oh,
15 all.
see Compton move more forward into that ball there.
Compton and Kahler were just not generating a lot of offense in the course of the point. Once
There's
they're
the
making
switch.
that serve first volley, points are really grinding.
I think that's what we're going to see the rest of the way here. It's a grind. You see they move Panek to the right side. He's going to do more volleying. I think Kahler and Compton have to find Panek on the overhead, and that's the look they're going to make. Yep. Now you got a little something, right? That's it.
Creating movement at the net. Ball started with that good lob.
Get
Panek.
that too. Nice play there from Berka. There's that harder overhead that's starting to work. I'd go right at the creases though. There we go.
Kahler
First
pulls out the slash.
cut overhead we've seen today. But they played
15-30.
that point the right way. They finally found Panek with the overhead. Then they got a little offense going, able to drive the ball through.
Fault for Berka.
15-40.
Those 15-30 points, you just can't afford to fall. Faults are never helpful, but those are just critical ones.
Wow. Seeing eye volley right on the line.
The ball looked out the entire way until it landed.
See if the switch at the net comes. There it is.
backhand from Compton. Peter Berka remind you of Gumby?
He's got some Gumby qualities for sure, without a doubt. Oh. Ah.
Well, I'm not sure how Kahler and Compton won that point.
Yeah, they got to do more with that ball. Berka's got to hit that a little. He pushed it down the line because it was open, but he hit it so soft.
Second set
No offensive quality to it.
3 games all.
And in the hand exchange, you know, Berka's not bad. He's pretty good, but Kahler's better.
We got one more game.
Yeah, and he had the advantage in that point.
Yeah, but he didn't hit a shot that continued the advantage.
Yep. Okay, 3-all. The most seems to have turned again.
Love 15.
Last game with the old ball.
Yeah, once that wetness comes onto the court,
Love 30.
fuzz and the flocking on the ball comes off in no time. It just comes right off the ball.
And then the other issue is when you start getting that icing on your paddle, it's very hard to spin the ball.
Do you think it's cold enough to get the icing today?
I don't know. I saw him wiping his paddle off in between points there.
Why don't you explain what that really means, actually, Mark?
So when you have condensation coming down, whether it be rain or snow, and you're right around that freezing number of 32 degrees Fahrenheit, the condensate falls on the paddle and freezes.
Yeah,
And when the paddle ices up,
it happens from the ball itself. The ball's got the moisture. Every time you strike it, that moisture from the ball just goes into your paddle, and then it does it a few hundred times and freezes on contact, and then you end up with ice all over your paddle. It makes a huge difference in certain instances. It doesn't happen as much as it used to, but it used to be a little bit of a factor every now and then.
yeah, and the problem is when you have that icing on your paddle, you just cannot hit anything but a flat ball at that point.
Very hard to put spin on an icy paddle. That's the hard shot towards the nick. Do it again, but I'm not sure he's going for the nick there or not, but he's definitely putting more pace on it and looking to force something from the backboard. And they're working Panek here. They're baiting him to drive. They're just waiting and baiting him to do something there. And then every 20th ball or 10th ball, they'll go into Berka just to make him work a little bit. Still the right thing for Panek to do until he has the right ball that he wants to hit.
Great job creating some movement at the net there.
There's the switch.
Berka sliding over to the backhand, an intentional switch. And now Compton sliding over to the backhand for an intentional switch at the net. You surprised by that, Brad?
I think what they're doing here is lining up Kahler with Berka so he cuts off the balls in a different way. Switching back, I guess not.
That was, I don't want to be at the net anymore.
Yeah,
Overhead.
basically.
Nothing wrong
Hit a
with
hard
it.
shot, see what you can make happen, change it up. It's one of the things that a lot of people don't understand. There's not a huge advantage being at the net. It's almost even up.
Yeah, I would say until you get up to the really top echelon of the game with the top 3 or 4 teams, there's no difference being at the net and being in the backcourt.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The difference makers are those guys with the slash overheads.
Roderick, Araya, Durant.
Right. You know, using powers,
15,
things
30.
like that.
Yep.
And it's definitely one of the separating things between some of the teams.
15-30.
Great point there.
That's a nice move there from Berka. Like it. Ooh, I think he missed that.
Missed it wide.
That's huge.
15-40.
40.
All right. A little looser points, but it's all because of the grind of Berka and Panek now. They're just making them, giving them more chances to miss or get frustrated in the points. And when's the last time you saw Panek hit a drive?
Hit a couple of backhands. I don't think he's hit a forehand drive. Maybe the whole match.
Well, not from the last few. Few to none. He's basically put it in his pocket and say, I'm not going to lose.
Yep.
Right? I'm not going to crush you with my shots, but I'm not going to lose, which is one of the tough parts of the game. There's the drive, and it's the right drive. Well done. You got a ball high and hit it low.
Game. Berka,
Great
Panek.
play from Panek there, and they go back up
They
4-3.
lead. The
But
second
right now,
set,
Compton and Kahler are
4
frustrated.
games to
They
3.
don't know how to gain
got a
an
new
advantage
ball
in the
coming.
points. You know. And you can
That
see
last game, Compton started with 2 faults, played a good point, and then missed a routine overhead.
Yep.
And you just can't afford to do that at this level.
Well, you know, that's one of the things Berka and Panek have done. They've taken all the errors out of the match.
Okay, new ball.
Nothing for us to put on the highlight reel, but there's a lot of mental will out here right now.
Get a mental highlight reel.
Yeah. Hey, Kelly, can we get a mental highlight reel? He doesn't have that one.
Just Kahler catching the ball early and hitting it down. Great return. That's a great
See, and there's
ball.
the overhead.
But there's a ball that Berka doesn't
Love 30.
slide on. He gives the lineup. So we think Stulak and Eskies won the first set. They're up 4-1 in the second.
Yep. That's it for our
Love 40.
tough team out there.
Well, you
Stulak
just
and
hate to
Eskies.
give the break back like they are right now. Quick love 40
A
game.
little the points out of the corner of my eye. It's like Hinson, Schwab just can't hurt them.
Game. Compton, Kahler. 4-all. Second set.
What do you think, Brad? Last couple of games?
Yes.
I think if Compton and Kahler play some solid paddle, this is going to be over pretty soon. Great blitz from Berka.
He's slippery. It's kind of like an eel or something, maybe. He just slips in.
If you weighed 130 pounds, you'd be slippery too, Brad.
Oh, Kahler just going for the shot. Trying to end the point because that's what
15.
happens when you play those long grinds. When you feel like you got a ball, you're going to go for it. But then there's the risk of missing. Such a shot that's so thin. It's contact window a little wide
Love
there.
30.
Couple of misses. All right, so we got
So-
Crick and Lofgren won the first set and they're up 2-1 in the second against Baxter and Held in their match over there.
May try and take a sneak peek at that in a little while.
Yeah, Baxter and Held, I mean, what I've seen from them, I'm still feeling out a little bit of their partnership, but Baxter's so talented. They play really fast sometimes. Just going for the gusto. There's a space in between for them because they do have a lot of offense they could use.
A lot of talent.
squall there. The flakes have dried up. Heaters are definitely on. You see a little bit of that steam coming up, but
couple of tries from Panek there. Compton's got to be careful with that forehand volley. He's going to jump to couple that way, and he's going to get beaten behind if he's not careful.
there you go.
15-30.
The third or fourth point where they're playing a long grinding point, then all of a sudden there was kind of an inexplicable miss from Panek.
Yep. Well, that's why they're going there. They think they're going to get that more from him, and then we just got 2 misses than they are from Berka. I mean, we've seen right now, basically, Kahler and Compton going 5-10 balls to 1, for Panek versus Berka. Now there's a play where they got to know what they're doing. When Berka moves to the inside there, Panek has got to slide behind him into the other side of the court. Berka will then play the ad. There's a gift from Love 30 down. It's now game point for Compton and Kahler.
If I were Compton and Kahler, I'd be hitting some short high balls to Panek's forehand. Really challenge him to drive the forehand.
I actually might go deep and at him. Let it come off the screen a little, but either way, as long as you're trying to force him to try and drive a little. They know where they're going to try and finish this match out. They're going to make Panek try and beat him. One thing that's working for Panek, though, is he really has settled into staying steady. That's the one there, the deep and right at him though. That's the one I want to see more of. Oh! All right, big hold there.
Right swing, good place, just didn't execute.
Yeah.
Compton Kahler. They lead the second set 5-4.
I'll tell you, Mark, so our umpire up in the chair, he's in full Gore-Tex. He's well outfitted. And I happen to be standing right near him as they were about to give the presentation for the ladies finals. And I was about maybe 3 feet away. And he has a 2-finger whistle that is like Guinness Book of World Record. I can't even hear out of my left ear here. Very impressive from our umpire Jay up there.
Jay Goman. Okay.
Oh, that's too good.
Great playing.
15. Love.
Yeah, they're trying to make something happen. Gets burned. You see the court to the left of our screen here. Stulak and Estes are off the court. That means they won that one. They're going to move on and they're
play the winner of this match.
And take the winner of this one here. So.
Great move.
Wow, he made that volley from under the net. That's a heck of a shot.
2 points from the match.
Compton take a very conservative return there. Doesn't want to miss it. It's a high roller versus the more aggressive type.
Strange, because he just hit a great two-hander for a winner.
Stay with it too. I think the goal would be to still try to lob Panek cross court like that. Look for that ball. Right, that's the one. Now create. I think he made it, or did it go long?
Yep.
No, that's a hand slap. I think that's
15,
double match point now.
40.
Yep. That's the play they're looking for right there. There it is. He's going to chase it. And what a catch! Kahler was not even ready. Oh!
Well, Kelly surely has a replay of that point.
It's so funny. We could get a replay out of that point there, but that was the best point of the match with the most athleticism in it. That's a heck of a finish to a match that, you know, Berka and Panek turned into a grind, which,
Great job.
to be honest, they had to in order to compete, I think, in that one there.
Okay, we're going to take a look at that last point.
I tell you, Kahler almost put his paddle down.
Well, it looked like Panek was done.
So here's that ball, the cross-court lob, like we talked about. Lob and Panek getting the short ball. Here's the off.
That's not the right point. That's the
point
previous
after that
point.
one was the next one, right?
Guy wanted a replay in the worst way, Brad.
Here it is. Here it is. Here's the get. Now
Kahler's
Kahler's basically walking off. He got a two-handed volley there, and what an anticipation from Compton. Oh,
here it is again. Well, watch Kahler. He puts the paddle in his left hand.
Yeah, he's got it in the other hand. He hits a two-handed volley. Here's the attack.
Paddle right hand. Paddle left hand. Shake
hand.
hands.
He's like, oh my
here
goodness,
it comes.
Volley. And then you see Compton with a great anticipation, and he stuffs it through the middle. He read that perfectly off Berka. Oh, that was a great finish there, Mark.
Fun to watch. Okay, we're going to be back in a moment after these messages right here on the APTA Network, presented by eNet Live.
Stephen.
I can't believe I caught you.
You came back. I knew you'd come back.
I have to ask you something.
Anything.
What is the Netflix password?
I love Stephen.
I love Stephen. It's all lowercase, one word?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You gotta get it to get it.
See ya.
Watch movies, TV shows, and exclusive series instantly.
Okay, welcome back to the APT Grand Prix Series. We just saw a terrific round of 16 match, and we're going to give you some bonus coverage of Baxter and Held versus Crick and Lofgren. Looks like they just lost the ball, and they're changing balls. Tour director Shannon Vincent doing everything humanly possible, is out there helping him change balls. Actually, it's not Shannon, I take back.
So Baxter and Held from the Indianapolis area.
Crick and Lofgren, Charlotte, New Providence Club.
Yeah, Old Providence Racket Club down
Well,
there.
it is Shannon. Knew it was Shannon. Who else would be giving the balls?
No,
out
that's
there?
actually Randy Lofgren from.
Yep. Randy Lofgren, New Providence Club. His brother Will from up here.
Yep.
So they were up 2-1 in the second set, and they won the first set. So we're going to try and get another score for you.
Zach Held serving. His partner, still on the bottom side, Ryan Baxter hitting that overhead. And on the far side, the left-handed player on the white top is Crick and his
Mason
partner,
Crick.
Randy Lofgren.
Randy grew up in the Cincinnati area, moved down to Charlotte. They through an APTA grant under the auspices of Scott Bondron, put in a couple of courts. And it's been a real growth area for the APTA. Good to see some Charlotte guys out here, seated. Randy really likes that backhand much more than the forehand.
More than the forehand. He likes to take it early off the deck and without, oh, that's a great drop.
Great
Well
shot
done.
from Held.
Again, you got to drive when you have the advantage, or at least the guy off the net. That was a smart, soft-handed drop there by Held. We'll get the score.
Got Patty Hogan headed out there to get a score for us. I believe it's early second set. First set to Lofgren and Crick. That's a great backhand.
There's that backhand you were talking about from Lofgren.
Oh, what a volley from Crick.
Could have let that go through. He tried to play a soft-handed block there. Could have gotten off the back screen. Not sure why he didn't.
There's a good ball through. Crick Lofgren really having the better part of play right now.
Yeah, we don't have an umpire on that court. So we'll do our best once we get the score to keep track of the score for everyone out there.
They just lost another ball, which they had for about 5 points. Hopefully somebody's chasing that in the parking lot as Patty Hogan comes back with a score for us.
So how much have you seen of Crick and Lofgren, Mark?
A lot more of Lofgren than Crick. I haven't seen much of Crick at all. I've seen a bunch of Randy Lofgren. Been in the court with him as well.
All right, so it's Baxter and Held lost the first set, so Crick and Lofgren won the first set 6-4, and it's now 2-all, and they're on a ball retrieval run, I believe, here. Patty Hogan throwing that ball back over to her.
Left-handed. You know Patty could throw that well left-handed?
That was pretty good. I did not. I don't think you could throw that well left-handed.
I can't throw that well right-handed.
It's a fair point. That was about 20 feet of clearance you did.
Yeah, that was an impressive throw.
Well, you'd have to stretch first or something.
At least.
All right, so it's 2-all in games. We don't know the game score yet, but we'll get that shortly. You'll see Held do that a lot. He's a very busy player. He'll leave his feet a lot. Jumping rollers, a little bit of a busy volleyer. Sometimes it makes him a little questionable on his choices. He's got some talent. Gonna have to become more solid and what I would call efficient with how he goes about the play.
They are feeding a lot of balls into that Lofgren backhand.
Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking. It's almost as if they're baiting him, but I'm not seeing him get any purposeful result out of it other than Lofgren whacking backhands at him. It's different. Like baiting somebody and then looking for the offensive volley is different than just hitting it there. It's a couple good spin overheads from Baxter. Yeah, that's a dangerous shot against Lofgren. So many of those guys with the two-handed backhands, you got to be super careful trying to put the ball into the side screen.
And that's another dangerous one. You don't want to hit that backside ball either.
Well, he's giving him almost a ball like it's a nice rhythm ball there. Oh, Baxter going big.
Almost like he lost his patience on that point, Brad.
I mean, he's just trying a lot of shots. You know, he's hitting the back cutter there. He's spinning it. He's cutting it. I'm not sure that all the shots he has full command of them yet. It's almost as he's working them out. You know what I mean? Like
I'm not sure what the purpose is of each one. Like you watch Araya go, he'll go hard into that side, hard's going to disrupt. Then he'll go long, deep spinner, or cut it into the side screen. But it all feels, generally speaking, like he's commanding what's happening.
Like it fits together.
Right.
And the thing is, that's the way Baxter always plays.
You know, he used to play with Heath, and I think Heath and Baxter did start to get a rhythm together as a partnership. I feel now that they haven't played together, you know, it is a little like he's experimenting with all these with shots, you know, and they're just shots.
So just to recap, it's 6-4, 3-2, Crick and Lofgren.
Yep.
And he does have a lot of shots.
Oh no, he's got tons of shots and great power and take the ball early. Just not sure how the shots, as you said, fit yet. I'm not sure he does either yet.
Lofgren plays on top of the net, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a big guy, very tall. You know, for a lot of these players, you know, they got building programs over there in Charlotte, one of the best programs in their area, but not a ton of top-level competition down there yet.
Eric Miller's living down there now.
Yep.
So they've got 4 or 5 players. Robert Phillips, real talented player from the Charlotte area.
Open stance forehand there from Baxter. I'd like to see him hit that ball when he's taking an attack angle to it. See, there's again driving at a guy while he's on top of the net. It's got to be a purpose.
Great drop shot from Lofgren there, 30 love.
Yeah, Baxter and Melvin have to. I don't see him talking about it, so I'm not sure they're changing if they're just playing. Oh, nice little lob there.
Winner of this match to play #1 seeds and defending national champions, Sean Hughes and Mark Powers.
Oh, he's just completely mistimed that look. He was actually right. He was looking for the down-up spike overhead, but
looked like he
not
slipped.
in enough. Did you think he slipped? Possibly.
Slipped.
I thought he slipped after he knew he was burned, but maybe you're right. Maybe that's why he missed it.
Well, they're going down the drain fast here. That's game 4-2. Very fast game. Couple of bad decisions there.
But it's like we were talking about before a little bit. There's got to be a purpose. Why hitting that ball down into Lofgren's back? He's literally sitting on it and waiting for it. Now that I don't mind. Harden at his body. Long low roller. But that shot there. It's
just over and over again.
Purpose to it.
And we've been watching for 10 minutes and we've seen him hit 5 of those balls?
Yeah, no, it's part of the game, or a large part of the game, is understanding, and it can change from match to match where you can hit the ball.
It does change from match to match.
Yeah, absolutely, because different strengths and weaknesses of your opponents, lefties, righties, so on and so forth. And if you don't figure that out,
15 all. Sorry, Brad, go ahead.
No problem. If you don't figure that out, it's, you know, you basically just gonna have a rough time of it out there.
All the damage we've seen done from the backcourt while we've been watching has been done by Lofgren with the backhand.
You know,
me, I'd be feeding him softballs in the middle. Let me see
you
hit
could
your forehand.
dump the ball to Lofgren's forehand all day long if you want to. Now there you're playing a grind, so that's going to be one piece of multiple strategy that you're going to use. You're not going to win the point there,
right?
But you're not giving him just a meatball there. All right, 30 all.
again, same thing.
It's a heavy roller. I've seen Criff actually load up a ball there, but they're so far out of position, hitting hard overheads.
Didn't have to do
that
anything.
He's just hitting a doink, you know, at their feet, and they're hitting themselves out of it though.
Yep.
You know, Baxter and Held. So it's another break point here. That's a good move. He's going to dig it out. God, he hammers that ball.
That's a great pickup from Crick.
Hands there from Crick.
Well, it does explode off of Baxter's paddle, doesn't it?
Oh.
Brad, can you walk us through that last shot?
I think it's exactly what we were saying before, Mark. I think it's an experimentation thing. I don't think it's about the matches at this point. I think it's about building the skill set in a strange way.
He's got so many skills, so many shots. But there he tried a backhand drop shot from 3 feet off the net.
Yeah, no, I can't say I thought it was a good shot, you know, and he definitely wasn't set up to hit it, and it seemed like a last-second thought.
Other than that, you like the decision.
No, I didn't look at the decision either, but my point is that I think I have to look at it that's the way it is because, you know.
But Crick's shown some real athleticism early. $15 love.
Yep. 6-4-5-2, 15 love.
With Jerry V. Howard here should tell you the water's going down the drain.
He's going down swinging. Oh, Lofgren loves that backhand there. That's the overhit serve and then stays back. It's good play. Missed the backhand though.
30 all. That was his shot. Staying back again. Here it comes.
If they're playing that ball over into, if they're going over to Crick, yeah, he's got to get more into the middle. Held does.
From Crick and Lofgren here, I'm playing a very patient
shot.
point.
Crick, nice.
Well, he's some athlete, isn't he?
But that's what I mean by developing skill. I think that's what Baxter's looking for. Just continue having these offensive shots. So he'll try them at all times, of which 80% of them, to be honest, are completely random.
Break point to get one of the 2 breaks back.
Yep. Almost the opposite of what we saw in our coverage before, where they dialed it down to nothing. Right?
There's no
Gave them
grinding.
nothing.
Right.
You know, literally the opposite. Now it's just take everything, right? That's a great shot.
Ball.
Oh no, he can do all those things, and that was a
nothing he can't do.
No, he can do them. It's just a question of how consistent, if it's the right time, and if you're going to do it at random times, there's got to be a rhyme or reason to the attack or how it works.
I have zero problem with that ball. That's the right ball to hit that type of shot on.
Little sloppy play by Lofgren the last 5 minutes or so.
You know, I think
15 love.
you can get baited in to sort of having the same type of shot selection too. You know, when your opponents are doing everything, then you start doing everything. It's not the way you want to do it.
They're serving 5-2, 30 love, threw in a fault and a bad miss, and all of a sudden they were back in the game. 15 all. That was a strange overhead from Held there.
It's hard right in there. Yeah, we talked about you could dump it all day to the Lofgren forehand. You pretty much can, but you can't smash it off the screen so it comes high. I don't know too many guys who don't have that shot.
I don't have that shot, Brad.
That's right, I don't know too many. You're on the list though.
It's good to be on one list.
Yeah, that's it. Now these. Oh. Wow.
Nathan Crick is some athlete. Really
Yeah,
impressed
Crick
by
is
him
gonna
early.
chase down a few.
Really moves well.
I haven't seen him actually hit a ball
Nope.
yet. You know, like I've seen him block a ball down with his backhand. I haven't seen him actually drive a forehand yet. Curious if he's got it. It's a nice pace drive, well placed.
Well, that was a little bit of a blurt right there.
Well, that's what we talked about. That's not the Lofgren strength. So at least we haven't seen 10 balls right high to his backhand into the side screen. I mean, that's exactly at least a more thoughtful point. That's the shot you don't want to do.
Much better overhead
Crick will
there
lob
from Held.
up the line, and he doesn't look to move to the middle to drive it either. He's pretty much defensively minded. You know, it's not like he's lobbing it to a place and looking for a ball here or looking for a ball there. But it doesn't look like he's going to pull the trigger, you know, and give you a lot of points.
40-15. Chance for get back to 4-5.
There we go. There's the forehand. Space there.
Just a bad decision there.
A couple loose points there and loose games there by Crick and Lofgren.
A little bit of a walkout from Randy Lofgren.
Yeah,
Walkabout.
you know, I do find it sometimes interesting to play against the players hitting all sorts of shots, as I was saying before. It makes you feel as if you're going to do the same sometimes. When really all you have to do is just continue to play your game, be as solid as you can, and let them hit themselves out of it a little bit. Make sure you keep your lobs deep, you know. Don't give them the put away shots. That could sort of fire them up a little. Here he comes. Oh!
David Caldwell had that knack because he hit, and he could do it. He hit so many wild shots. He'd draw you into crazy exchanges where you're hitting cross-court backhands.
That was a surprising 2 misses there from Baxter.
Yeah, 2 points from the match.
Yeah. Put the ball away. He'll make 2 misses there. And though, Lofgren does stand very close to the net, and he sort of leaps back for the overheads as opposed to, you could bait him into hitting that down up overhead, hit a decent lob up over him, and move forward, take it early a few times. He definitely doesn't move back behind it and let the ball drop like a lot of other players do.
30-15.
Oh, right on that net there.
But he's having a bad stretch right here at a difficult moment in time. 30-all. It is interesting though, Brad, as the points get more important, you get down to the end, you find more and more grinding.
That's what I mean there. We just saw it there from Lofgren again. Watch this. He'll go up and up. So you can absolutely look to move him back and then move forward and take that ball early. If you keep lobbing Lofgren, he'll give you that. Called it out.
Randy was looking to the chair to get another
Yeah,
opinion. There's
I
nobody
don't
sitting
think
there.
he was questioning. I think he called it out himself. He knew it.
Yeah.
Just gesturing to the sky. So that's another break point here.
Yeah, point for 5-all.
Surprising, weird turn of events. Oh, great little hook forehand there. Oh, Crick hits the forehand. All right, so we go from 5-2, and Baxter and Held basically hitting themselves out of the match to 5-all. You know, you can't explain any of this stuff, even though we sit here and try.
I'd like to say I saw that coming, but I'd be lying.
Oh my goodness. You know.
Okay, if this match splits, we'll try and get them onto our number one show court so we have a little more flexibility and angles and camera perspective. Wow.
A little lazy forehand there. A one-step flicker. Oh, great blitz. And Baxter should have bailed, but stayed in there trying to make the volley.
There's one thing this match will teach you, Brad. It's never over.
Oh, it never is.
That's why you just gotta keep competing as a league player.
But you know, it also teaches you the other things that I'll talk to you about. One of the things that make, you know, a team more of a top team is to have that sort of balance of style of play and a plan with what you're doing, so that you have a game style. Doesn't mean you can't adjust your game or move it or take it to a more offensive zone, but there has to be a basis to it, you know, a base.
But it's the reason that when things are going badly, you just got to keep competing, because things can change. Nobody's running the clock out on you. Nobody's getting a score that's too big that you can't come back. You got to win the last point, and as you've seen from Crick and Lofgren here,
that's a tricky little shot there.
It's hard to do.
Baxter. Oh! Holy cow. That's a rip, but it's funny. Well, with Baxter and Held, you know, Baxter clearly has more experience than Held. Although he's not 10 years in or anything like that. But you would think he would be sort of like the captain of their team.
Yeah.
But he more or less is doing more of his own thing. You know, like, you know, but you would think that he'd be sort of like, as we talked about, you know, designing how the team wants to play or the shots they want to look for or go for. And then with Crick and Lofgren, they played enough together too where they should almost have the same, you know. But both teams falling into the trap of, you know, here and there and everywhere.
Seems about 20 minutes ago, Crick Lofgren was serving 5-2, 30 love, and we were getting ready to wrap it up.
Yep.
And now he's serving to get them into a tiebreak.
Yeah, no. Oh, see, that's the stuff that's very, like, huge forehand from way back
on the run.
Baxter. I mean, he's got a big forehand for sure.
And that hits Lofgren, and now they're 2 points from the set.
All right, who are you taking here, Mark?
Yeah, I got them, Brad.
You got them? I'm taking them too. I mean, we didn't really see any of the first set, but it makes you wonder, huh?
And that takes us to triple set point. You know, there's emojis, Brad, with someone's head coming off in an explosion. I think that's happened to Randy Lofgren in the last 20 minutes.
There it is. Split sets. Holy cow, from 5-2 down, Baxter and Held win 5 games in a row.
Okay, I'll be back in a moment after these messages right here on the APT Network, presented by eNet Live.
From spinning, to swinging, to throwing, you never know what's next for you. That's why at North Shore Orthopedic Institute, we're always thinking ahead of the curve. From treating the pros to weekend warriors. From minimally invasive procedures to regenerating knee cartilage, helping you wake up pain-free. At North Shore, we're not just here for you now, we're helping you be ready for what's next.
When it's your job to protect the world's greatest nation, it's your responsibility to solve the world's greatest challenges. This is why we search for the best and brightest, why we train for every eventuality, on land and water, in the air, space, and even cyberspace. We operate in a complex world with one simple mission: win.
Give a little bit.
At Amazon, we've got millions of toys and games to choose from this holiday for kids of all ages, with free shipping on over 100 million items. So visit Amazon and give a little love this holiday.
Guilty.
Did you fix what flooded my house?
Sure did.
Toilet overflow?
Nope.
Pipe break?
Getting warmer.
Busted water heater?
Nailed it.
How long can you hold your breath? Is that your real hair? What's the birds and the bees? Do you know where my grandma is?
You know, I don't know.
What's next?
Wrapping up the water cleanup.
You do that too?
We do both.
Fair enough.
Call Roto-Rooter for plumbing and water cleanup. Yeah, we do both.
From spinning, to swinging, to throwing, you never know what's next for you. That's why at North Shore Orthopedic Institute, we're always thinking ahead of the curve. From treating the pros to weekend warriors. From minimally invasive procedures to regenerating knee cartilage, helping you wake up pain-free. At North Shore, we're not just here for you now, we're helping you be ready for what's next.
Welcome back to the APTA Grand Prix Series. We're about to start the third set of this round of 16 match between Crick and Lofgren, Baxter and Held. Brad, you predicted at 5-2 that Baxter and Held were coming back, and I've got to give you kudos for anticipating what was going to happen in that match.
Mark, it's pretty impressive to know exactly what's going to go on there. I had them absolutely winning 5 games in a row inexplicably.
Out of nowhere, Brad.
I mean, you know, we sit here and say out of nowhere, and essentially you're right, because you wouldn't think that, you know, Crick and Lofgren would basically disappear like it. It started with that game at 5-2, where Baxter was still just going for everything, but he hit 2 cut winners for a couple of shots. Crick and Lofgren missed a couple of balls, they had a couple of short lobs, and then from that point on, you had Crick and Lofgren just, you know, missing balls, you know, right and left. You know, I would say more Lofgren just because Crick doesn't do as much, but
They just disappeared, and they started just hitting completely random shots from all over the place.
It almost looked like Ryan Baxter had checked out. Like he's just at 5'2", 15 love, he had slammed a forehand into the net in what looked like complete frustration. It looked like he was done, and then
you would have to think that it was 2 points in a row at 5-2, 30 love. In both points, he just whacked the forehand, basically whacked it like almost indiscriminately, and all of a sudden from that point.
And then Lofgren faulted.
It was a fault right after that. Yep.
Missed another relatively easy shot, and then all of a sudden they had life.
It's so strange how it works out that way. And then they just, got caught into bad decisions all around. And then you actually saw a little bit of Baxter and Held actually not just whacking the ball in there, putting it in a little slower, putting it to the Lofgren forehand. A little less of, like in the beginning, we saw Lofgren hit maybe 10 backhands as they tried to hit it down into the side screen, and that definitely did dry up as the set went on. And then it was if Crick and Lofgren didn't know, when they weren't giving them the points, they forgot how to win the points.
Yeah, sometimes when you're playing against someone, you end up getting, you talked about this earlier, not just drawn into their style, but into their level of play.
All the players are talented.
Okay,
we'll see if this third set here. So we got Zach Held here to serve.
And his
he's
partner
going to start us off.
Partner Ryan Baxter at the net in the blue hat, and he's serving to Nathan Crick in the white shirt. You're going to go right back to feeding the Lofgren backhand, you think, Brad?
Yeah. Well, hopefully they won't. But saw Crick hit a forehand there. I like that. Oh, nice, easy move there. See, now these are spin overheads that are just sitting up. I'd like to see him hit them through the court at Crick. He's got to know what his spin overhead is going to do more. But he easily, Baxter goes over the ball, around the ball, under the ball. Wow, great dig.
A couple of vicious nicks.
Oh, wow, Crick.
Crick.
What a great move. Oh!
What a terrible way to end the point.
But that's a lot of energy out of Baxter. Not that he can't do it all day. I'm sure he can. But that's what I was talking about before with the feeling out thing. I think 60% of the overheads, he knew exactly what they were doing. And it was better overall, for sure. Had a lot more movement in the court. They had a couple of nicks.
15 love. Would you say the momentum shifted slightly in this match, Brett?
Well, Baxter's going to keep hitting, and right now he's getting a little rhythm. I would actually like to see they're putting that ball into the screen. Yeah, they need to block lob some balls and get them up quicker so Baxter can't set up and hit these cut balls. Oh,
there are a couple of great forehand.
Called out.
Called out.
Very close.
40 love.
Watch a little closely. I mean, this game may or may not be over here, but Held is very close. He moves his back foot up to the line.
Yes, saw that.
He's in danger of a nice get there from Baxter. He's in danger of a football. Got to take a look at it. I wonder how many times he's been on the court with an umpire. It's been a difference, or if he just starts further back. So, good start there and a good hold. Here we go. With the body, we're going to see.
Oh, this is the forehand.
Big forehand. See if that was wide or not, or that.
That's the hard one there. It did look like it was
Yeah.
wide to me there on the
Looked
slow
missed
angle.
to me also. Yep, I think that was the
without
right
a
call.
doubt. Great call. Good catch there by Kelly, our producer. Thank you for that.
Okay, one
And
love.
I actually
Baxter
thought,
held.
to be honest, that it was more in than out. And now I see in the replay it's definitely out.
Okay, it's time to Crick and Lofgren to make a stand.
Well, that's 6 games in a row, Mark. And you saw at that point, though, you really saw the difference between the two Baxters. It's like Jekyll and Hyde. You know, there he was dictating and dominating a little bit with some good overheads.
The good, the bad, and the ugly from Ryan Baxter. Tremendous talent, tremendous athlete.
Tons.
But can hit just seemingly inexplicable shots. 15 love.
He loves that sort of bolo finish, little Nadal. He tries to hook it behind the guy. Kind of a bit of sleet coming down now, Mark, or is it drying up out there?
Something's
Really
coming
tell.
down.
I think a great call is to continue to try to lob Lofgren back. He doesn't move back behind the ball. He reaches back and hits it from a high position, and he likes to stay standing up on top of the net.
It's kind of a strange swing, too, almost with a hitch in it. 40 love.
Shot there by Held. I hate to say it, but he held the ball and he flipped it cross court. Oh, that's just awful. See, I'd start pinpointing these lobs. Yeah, get Lofgren or get him hitting the overhead from there. That's what you want. Lofgren will patrol and he'll try to cut off the volley, but if you get Lofgren moving back, you could expect a spike overhead coming your way. Crick definitely does more of the neutralizing overheads. See, there's your ball. There it is. See?
Ball, Brad.
Now, Lofgren doesn't even go in afterwards. He knows the overhead's no good. Oh, Baxter's been lighting that up a little bit.
Okay, 1-1. This match will be followed by Mike Stulak and Scott Estes against the winner of our previous match in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Against Compton and Kahler. Should say future Hall of Famer Mike Stulak.
Nice to see them in a quarterfinal. You're going to see one of the great close-in players. He gets close to the net, got one of the best drop shots in the game, Mike Stulak. And you got Scott Estes, a great lefty overhead. Just pushes it long, deep with a little spin, moves it around. Not really an attacking slash, but just a great overhead.
So 15 love.
Let's see, now you see him just going for these shots again. He doesn't quite have the preparation, say, of like a Rye who's already got that thing set up and ready to go. And now you've seen, you know,
15-30.
Basically 15-30. Yep. A few errors there. they're not using the middle. There you go. There's a middle. And I was going to say, I wonder if they have any fear of the quick forehand. I haven't seen any reason to be afraid of the quick forehand. Not that he can't hit it, but
I haven't seen
fear is
it.
a different thing. You know, they stay out of that middle. They're hitting nothing to the middle to try and move the guys in there.
There's the safe spot.
That's a good long slasher with a wet ball, trying to keep it low.
Boy, he's starting to go into that Lofgren backhand a bit too much again.
Oh, Held's going to get in the act there, going for an extra cutter there. So you see they're taking these offensive overs, but their percentage just isn't good enough.
No, not even close.
Yeah. I mean, they've gotten plenty of winners too, but... Oh, Held! Great job.
Doesn't look like Crick's really comfortable hitting that forehand, does it?
Well, he hits him kind of with the continental, but then he does. We've seen him turn it over to a more Western style grip too and hit it, but
that was a very drivable ball.
Absolutely. What I don't see out of him, that I see out of Lofgren some of the time, is Lofgren lobs and he gets prepared to hit the backhand.
Crick watches.
Crick lobs and he's not getting set up for a ball. He's not lobbing and looking.
It's 30-40 here, not 40-30.
That's good overhead. Make a move. That, you don't hit it there right as his back though. How about that? All right, Crick and Lofgren, 3-1 now.
There's one place in the court they're generating offense, Crick and Lofgren.
I mean, that's I think I see the plan though. It's to get down 5-2 and then
pretend to
run
be
off
tanking
5 games in a row. Yeah. I see the method.
You know, may not understand the madness, but you see the method. Yeah, that was a very strange game.
Yeah, it's just one break here.
Okay, so after losing 6 games in a row, Crick and Lofgren are on their own streak of 2 consecutive games. Love 15.
This is what we've seen, a little that back and forth. You get a lead, then throwing your own couple of misses. Nice shot there. He prefers that play actually than the serve and volley. Serve, stay back. He takes that backhand early, one times it low. There it is, doing it again. 2 points right there for Lofgren. Very good at taking that backhand right off the deck.
Almost a half volley.
Oh, he lined him up there.
Oh, out of nowhere, the Crick forehand emerges.
That was great. He stuck that pretty good. Totally Held was not ready at all.
Why would he be ready? He lobbed the last 13 forehands.
Surprise attack. Oh boy. They're getting killed with this like hitting the overhead over to Crick and then not shifting over, and then Crick hits a cross-court lob and they have to keep shifting back this way all the time.
Not exactly sure why they weren't in behind that lob. See, that's a great lob by Lofgren.
I don't know
Back
why
to
he didn't set
original
up
point.
there. Yeah, he should be setting up. I mean,
Crick
I
just
think
stood
that
there.
ball doesn't have to be hit, but he should be ready to hit it.
Well, he puts so much more pressure on the guy hitting the overhead when he's in position to generate some offense than just standing there watching. You shrink the court.
See, I mean, you'll see he's off his feet on 70% of the overheads. He's just got a lot of energy to burn. Crick's great at scampering up to get those, and they finally outlast him in that point. See Baxter smiling. Oh, killer.
3-1. Anyway, they can come back from this, Brad.
Like I said, I think I know what's happening here, Mark. I found the plan. I know what's working. You just wait. They're going to play a let there, maybe a disputed call. Good sportsmanship. See Baxter giving him a sign, but Held forgot to look. Now you don't see Baxter and Held do a lot of moves, so what is he telling him there, do you think, Mark, when Baxter gives him a sign?
Guess his opinion on where he's going to serve.
Yeah,
what else could he be communicating?
He's telling him where to serve, I think, left to right.
Zach Held is certainly an energetic player.
Oh yeah, no, he's up on that. Oh,
look what
he
I
wanted
found.
to get out of the way because he couldn't. Great reaction though, just to get it back.
Ball kind of found his paddle.
Oh, he's not ready in that backhand volley position though. He does not have his paddle up there. After he hits it, he's so much energy on these volleys that he doesn't get prepared in time for the next ball. Oh, that's in there. And they stood and watched it a little. They could have had it, but waited and watched.
I think that's 15 all.
That lob there, I think, is the one that's doing the most damage to Baxter and Held. That cross-court lob that moves Baxter to his right from Crick and the white on the other side.
Oh, great ball into the crease there, right into the neck.
30-15. Haven't seen too many big backhands from Lofgren. He's kind of backed off that shot a little bit. 30-all.
Nice.
Here's the lob, Brad, that you were talking about. Driving him all the way across the center stripe.
Another you can dump it all day. That you can do. But Crick and Lofgren are definitely have dialed it back. Started hitting a few at the Knicks though too.
Why not? Especially at Crick's Nick, because he's not presenting a whole lot of offense over there.
There was that big forehand that he tried to frame it with last, that he did frame it with last time. Missed that one though. All right.
40-30.
40-30. All right. Oh, great shot. Oh, that's a bad drive. You don't know where he is. The guy's on the net. Your partner's, you're not in position to get the volley back. Can't hit that there.
Brad, I think it's great. We got an Indy team and a Charlotte team on the live stream.
That is pretty great, actually. Great cutoff there from, oh, what an overhead right into that crease. That's the shot we want to see more of.
Right, but Crick's not generating any offense, so he's leaving his crease open for Baxter and Held to aim at. It's one of the reasons he's got to move over.
Yeah, you got to block it. Oh, that's a nice serve. Saw Mark Fischel got handed a secret paper. I'm sure he's got some news for everybody.
No news at all, Brad, just that we're going to have Esti Stulak on deck at the end of this match. Back to deuce.
Oh, quick little forehand there from Lofgren.
Surprised Baxter didn't close off the net there.
Yeah.
Doesn't generate enough pace to really scare you. Point for 4-1.
Oh, he's moving over. He pulls his paddle away from his body. If he kept it in front, he could have blocked that back.
I wasn't sure if he was trying to volley that ball or let it go.
I think he was 100% letting it go, and he just got caught moving away. But even if you let it go, you must always keep your paddle in front of your body, because the one thing you can't do, if you can't get out of the way of it, if your paddle's there, it comes back. You can make the shot.
So that's 4-1, Brad. And you seem to have discovered their strategy, which they're working on beautifully.
Just watching. All right, so Crick and Lofgren, 4 games in a row now. A lot of swings in this match. Although you see Baxter, you know, it's funny. what ended up making the swing the last time, we thought he was done, just swinging indiscriminately, and then he got Crick and Laughlin making a few mistakes, and Baxter heating up a couple of shots. That's a great serve there from Crick. And now Baxter's playing much more patient, actually. He's putting the ball, dumping it down the middle. And that game, they did have a couple of game points, but they just didn't put it together. So you got to know what that backhand's going to do. Did not die. It sat up short. Oh.
Just no footwork.
Hittable ball with footwork, right. Otherwise, he sort of leaned over it, fell down on top of it, missed it. Yeah, nice. That's a tough ball to make. Tough ball to make. 40-15 now.
I thought he was going to have problems putting the ball back in play, and then all of a sudden he was driving it.
Yeah, the reward isn't worth the risk there. All right.
Okay, 5-1.
Plan is in place.
Is it time yet, Brad? Or
the plan is in place. Nope. I'm not calling this. See? Got to get down love 30 first. That's all part of it. Well played there. Rick knowing exactly where the ball is. That's it. All right, now we're ready. 5-1 love 30. Now we're ready.
Crick and Lofgren in trouble, huh?
Yes. Crick throw up his hands there.
He wasn't the only one.
Oh, did he fault that one? All right.
Double match point.
Double match point. I don't think this was part of the plan. Crick making a blitz there. Surprise move. I haven't seen him do it all match. Oh, nice.
As opposed to
just wide by
As opposed to the two-handed backhand, he chose last point. Match point number 2.
Yep. Trickiest thing now is just getting that serve in the box. Great serve too.
Fired it in there.
So I like those long and deep at the body shots. Wow, he's using the slide of that ball. He's sensing that the ball's starting to hydroplane. It's raining a bit out there. It's wet. You can see how wet Lofgren is. Probably all are, but
What do you think, Brad? How's this point going to end?
you know, I still think they're in it here. So until they actually win the final point, I think they're, oh wow, that's a heck of a get there though. What a shot by Lofgren. You could really see that court getting wet. Ball starting to slide a little bit. There's probably no fuzz left on that ball either. Do need to see Held put his paddle back in front of his body after every overhead. He hits it and he leaves it to his side. That was a little better, but there it is. Back to deuce. Take that off-pace drive. You have to be ready to move forward if you're going to do it. It was just a shot to hit a shot in that time. Tough one. But nice drop volley there. Took some guts to hit that. And match point down. Well done. Oh, great hands from Lofgren and Baxter. Good high lob. Now, they don't have an umpire out there, so they're not switching balls every 7 games, and they're probably just going to go through with this. Or are they switching balls here, Mark?
Not sure, Brad. Amazing get there from Lofgren. Couldn't tell last set because they lost a couple of balls and they replaced them out of rotation.
Yeah.
But they've played more than 7 games with this ball, so my guess is they started the set with it.
This ball is going to be completely bald if it's not already. Well, that means the outside flocking or the fur on the outside of the ball is completely gone and worn off. This. Wow, they are building this. I like it. Nobody wants to lose. Final points here.
Good lobs from Lofgren. Problem is they're not backing it up with anything.
It's the first couple of balls I've seen a Crick. He missed it. Or did he?
I think he hit him.
Oh, he hit him?
Yeah. I think that's
I'm not sure there.
Add in,
all right, so we're going to say
Baxter.
Add for Baxter and Held. Now you can see all that. Is that steam or fog, Mark?
Steam.
So that steam coming up, that actually big difference as that water starting to, in the viewing on the court, harder to see the ball.
In a situation like this, Brad, I think it's incumbent upon the team in the backcourt to make a play. Team at the net's going to get a team in the net is going to get a nick or a seam or something.
Yep.
Especially with the wet court. Slash going to hit somebody.
It's always that fine line between hitting the right shot and making a play. You know. There haven't been a ton of balls to make a play on right now. All these are good overheads. Baxter and Held, nothing easy to drive. It's a ball that could be driven, but we know that's not the Lofgren strength, that forehand.
Oh.
And, oh! But that's what you're talking about. You keep playing longer, eventually. Lucky leg cord, nick's going to happen. They're not really aiming. There's a ball that could go towards the nick. They can start hitting more at the nick too, for sure.
Especially Crick's nick, because there's so little danger there. There's nothing that's going to happen if you don't hit the nick.
Yep. That's well played. That did get in there, and well played there by Lofgren. That's going to be ripped. Oh, what a volley from Baxter. But that's the secondary thought from it, from the backcourt team. We're not going to miss. We're going to make them try to beat us with a nick or with a cut overhead. Or maybe they'll get anxious and overhit the play or overplay the shot. Whereas, because that was a hard overhead that went into Lofgren's corner, but came out so easily for Crick. He got a great drive, and only an exceptional volley from Baxter kept the ball in play. Wow. See, they're getting anxious there, and there's the finish. Wow, how about that? Well, did I tell you, Mark?
You did tell me, Brad.
Let's go, Kelly. We're on the comeback trail.
5-2 looks like they're looking for a new ball.
I think they need a new ball, and they absolutely should be changing every 7 games here. Like I said, if he put that up to the camera, if you look that in his hands, he's moving it around. That ball is completely bald. It is not an ounce of fuzz on it. They should be changing every 7 games. And in this one, it's not even going to last that long because it's starting to come down again. A lot of steam up there on the court. What a battle. 2 match points there.
We joined the match about an hour and 20 minutes ago.
Yep.
Randy
and
Lofgren
it was 5-2, 30 love for Crick and Lofgren.
The interesting thing is, the longer you let a team stay alive, the harder it is to close them out, and the more the pressure builds.
We all know the hardest thing to do, Mark, is to close out the match. You got to be a closer in this game because oftentimes, and it's the reason why it works so back and forth, when you're up, you know, or when people are down, the other team tightens it up, gives you a lot less points. And then you start making errors.
Starts with a fault.
To end the points. Yep.
At 15. So Brad, talk a little bit more about being a closer and what you should do to close matches. 15-all.
Well, you know, really happens in a match oftentimes. Oh boy. It's the mental toughness to stay with the things that made you get ahead to begin with. That's the first part of it. And then the second part is often the team that's behind, they stop making errors. You know, they dry them up. They say, you know what? We're going to force you to beat us. And maybe what made you get ahead to begin with was the other team making a few questionable shots or missing a few drives or this or that. So you have to stay with what you're doing, and then you have to be ready to adapt if the other team dries up the errors, or ready to mentally be tough to you know, grind out the end. Because, you know, we say what we say about Drew Broderick often, although that, you know, they are increasing the speed of their play more and more now. You know, Broderick and Palmer, is that he refuses to lose, right? It's not that he's necessarily just going to go out and beat you all the time. It's that, how are you going to beat him? Oh, that's so good.
Some point, 30-all. Okay, let's see if Lofgren can get a serve in here. He's 0 for 2 in this game on the Deuce side. But at least they're not up 30 love.
Oh, and he comes in and they get stuffed.
Match point number 3.
Point, and the ball is definitely skidding some now.
I'm going to predict a long grinding point, Brad.
Oh!
Lofgren misses the lob.
All right.
That's 3 match points saved. Serve
you can see the serve start skidding now, though. This is a real wet court. The skid ball's coming into play. You see it completely shiny, all those shiny areas. That ball is skidding big time. This match has just completely changed. I would have to say almost, I can't imagine how they're going to come back now. Because all Lofgren really has to do is hit in a good flat serve, solid, and it's going to skid. They're going to lose their return to serve. I don't see how.
You could keep faulting,
of course,
Brad.
the faults are, I'd just say he has to get it in solid. And the return of serve is going to be non-existent because that court is completely, you can see it from the other angle if we go. See, he cannot hit that return. The ball's going to skid out. If we can get that other angle from Kelly, you'll see how the court is completely shiny, and that just means it's wet everywhere and the ball's going to be skidding. Yeah, they're everywhere. You see that? I mean, that is about 5 faults.
All to the deuce side.
But Baxter, he's going to have a heck of a time trying to drive this. If it's in the box, going to skid out at him. He can do it off the screen. Oh my goodness! How about that? But this would be Herculean to come back from a hold is inevitable unless you put in 6 faults. You just got to put it in the box. I don't know how you can see it any other way. It's tough. Held's got to put it in now too, but Kelly still likes to come back. I'm going to say no at this point in time, but they should be able to win this game unless I haven't seen anybody put a serve in quite a while. So you do not want to hit that ball down to up in this weather. Let it drop and push it through the court. Make the ball skid. Let it drop, cut under it or to the outside of it, long and solid. Yeah, drops are good too. Anything that makes the opponents move because they can't make so many digs here. The ball's going to stay low. It's really, truly, no paddle player loves to play in this.
What a volley.
Man, these volleys are great, but these guys should not be getting that many looks in this weather. To say I think Crick likes driving in this almost more. That's it right there. The long, low slash. That ball just skids under the paddle. And if he tries to let it go, it's shooting off the screen so fast. Very little time to react. 15 all. You don't want to take a big topspin swing there.
I have that shot.
Through the ball flat. Trying to spin it extra when the ball's this heavy and wet is a mistake.
30-15.
I would think Lofgren's a pretty good rain player. Like he's got.
Oh, what a shot.
He hit a spin cutter over their heads. And that's crazy.
40-15.
Lofgren hits a nice flat backhand. It's good in the weather.
AKA Michael Montalbano.
Yep, Monte's pretty good at it as well.
5-4, Crick and Lofgren.
I tell you.
You'd have to think if Crick can get his serve in the box.
Crick's got a good serve. I haven't seen him fault yet, but if he gets it in the box, I don't know how they're going to return well enough. But Kelly keeps pointing to the here comes the comeback sign, and I clearly knew the plan. I didn't account for the weather. However, I had it completely right in every other way.
Okay, Brad, hold or break?
I got to call hold. I don't see how I can call otherwise. Yeah. There's one error there on the low cut overhead. See that? Every ounce of the court completely shiny. Let that ball drop. Don't hit it from high. And then push it low and in there. That's nice. See, I don't know why Lofgren's hitting it into the side screen like that. Let it drop. See that he knows how to let it really drop yet. I haven't seen that. That's going to be tough. Great gets there from Baxter, making him so easy to make the guy work now because the ball is going to skid.
$15 love. $30 love.
Yep.
2 points from the match, Brad.
Been here before. but
several
not in the
times.
rain. Rain definitely favors the server. Ah, there it is. Triple match point in this weather. 2 balls. Not sure.
Triple match point.
A lot of experience to play in the rain. There's one fault.
This is match point number 5.
Hell's missed 2 there, though, out of the last bunch here. Struggled on the return. Got to get those lobs way in the air or... And there it is. Tried to hit a topspin drive. It spun right off his paddle. And there's the match for Crick and Lofgren.
Relatively routine. 6-4, 5-7, 6-4.
There we go. Some wild turns of events in that one.
Okay, we'll be back with our next men's quarterfinal after these messages right here on the APATA Network, presented by eNet Live.